The Federation for Hunting and Conservation Malta, the FKNK, needs your help to protect Malta's culture and rural property. We will start off by explaining the uniqueness of the Maltese Islands and spring hunting as a cultural tradition.
Malta, the tiniest, most densely populated EU member state, is the only one in which huntable species do not occur in the natural state all the year round. This fact is unique to Malta. Because of it, Malta's socio-cultural hunting tradition has evolved since time immemorial around the spring hunting of turtle doves and quails. The International Union for Conservation and Nature lists both species under the category of least concern. This means these birds are widespread and abundant. They are listed on Annex 2 of the EU Birds Directive, which means they may be hunted. Since Malta joined the EU on the 1st of May 2004, spring hunting of both species took place annually under strictly supervised conditions, in small numbers, and during a much shorter period than previously. That was the position until the beginning of 2008.
As an EU member state, Malta has the right to derogate from the Birds Directive.
The Maltese government had insisted on allowing spring hunting of these birds. The EU never objected. The pre-accession Malta-EU common position confirmed this fact. The Maltese socio-cultural tradition of spring hunting was specifically safeguarded by 1 out of 77 special arrangements. The Maltese government could derogate from the Birds Directive through Article 9 to make it legally possible. Most other EU member states do the same thing. In fact, if Malta is forced to be the exception, then, for Malta, Article 9 might just as well not exist.
The Malta-EU agreement secured legal expectations on hunting to both Malta and the Maltese hunters.
The Malta-EU agreement was supposed to secure Malta's legal expectations on hunting. The Common Position Agreement was even guaranteed in 2 separate letters signed and sent to every individual of the 17,000 registered hunters by the Maltese Prime Minister, who is now the President of the Republic of Malta. This happened on the eve of the vote for Malta's EU accession. Additionally, to remove any doubt, these guarantees were made public on a fact sheet issued by the Malta EU Information Centre just before Malta's EU membership vote. These guarantees protected the legal expectations of all Maltese hunter citizens.
Notwithstanding, the EU Commission took Malta to the European Court of Justice. You will next hear about the reactions of the FKNK and the Malta government.
Notwithstanding all, in January 2008, the EU Commission took Malta to the European Court of Justice to abolish spring hunting. Adding insult to injury, the Commission based its reasoning on the misrepresentation of material facts, or, in short, complaints by BirdLife. In protest, the Hunting Federation drew up a petition with over 31,000 signatures collected within 6 weeks. No electronic signatures were requested or collected. All signatories did so manually. 5% of the signatures were collected from citizens of other EU member states, with the rest from Maltese citizens, accounting for over 10% of the adult Maltese population. Representatives of hunters' associations from 13 EU countries, totaling 4,760,000 European hunters, also signed the petition. The Federation lodged the petition with the Petitions Committee of the European Parliament in May 2008. Meanwhile, the Maltese government is putting up a strong defense of its case. It has even commissioned an independent study regarding turtle dove and quail hunting during spring and autumn. This study, headed by Professor Christos Thomaidis from Greece, begun in 2007, should run up to the autumn of 2009. Although the public tender was open to anyone, only hunters and trappers offered to participate. BirdLife Malta refused to participate and even tried to ridicule the study.
Next came the unjust interim measure, which banned spring hunting in 2008, which measure also exposed BirdLife infiltration into EU quarters.
Pending the outcome of the case, the Commission insisted that the European Court of Justice take an interim measure. The judge gave in to the Commission's demand and on the 25th of April 2008 ordered the Maltese government to ban spring hunting for 2008. For the first time ever in the history of the Maltese Islands, the ingrained Maltese socio-cultural tradition of spring hunting was suspended. The Federation considers the court verdict as unjust. In our opinion, it is unfortunate that Judge Skouris chose to undermine the lives of Maltese citizens. His decision did just that. It discriminated against the hunters, giving priority to the birds. Birds judged to be widespread and abundant in southern Europe by the scientists of BirdLife International themselves. The verdict implies that BirdLife has definitely infiltrated the top ranks of the EU Commission, if not also the European Court of Justice itself. The Federation believes so because the only parties to the hearing were supposed to be the State of Malta and the Commission. BirdLife was not supposed to be involved. Despite that, BirdLife somehow supplied the Commission with newly acquired figures of harvested birds over Malta. Secondly, the verdict was made public in Malta by BirdLife Malta a full 25 minutes before the State of Malta was officially informed.